Hello my dear students, welcome back to our news analysis. Today I shall be discussing the newspaper dated March 27. Do not worry, I shall cover the newspapers and questions from them if I missed any. So, welcome back to the news analysis. I expect that all of you have already read the newspapers of March 27 and we shall discuss a few questions also. So, let us begin. I request all of you to share the link with your friends so that others can also get benefited from the program. So, let us start with March 27 Hindu news analysis. Poll bond sale can go ahead, says the Supreme Court. India Bangladesh must fight terror together, says the Prime Minister of India on his visit to Bangladesh. Poll bond, electoral bond can go ahead, says Supreme Court. Electoral bond was introduced a few years ago. It was to stop the political, the so called disguised or anonymous funding to political parties by corporates. If somebody wants to donate an amount to a political party, say a corporate, ABC corporate wants to donate some amount to a political party, then they can purchase electoral bonds and give that electoral bond in favor of that particular political party. That political party can encash that money from the bank. From time to time, the State Bank of India was authorized to come out with electoral bonds. So, this was to bring in some kind of an accountability in political funding, which was a good idea. But when we pass this act, there haven't been enough provision to make it foolproof. Once it was introduced, then both the Election Commission of India and the Reserve Bank of India criticized electoral bonds, saying that what money was given to which party by whom, there was no way by which it could be located. Why? Because, and also it did not come under the provisions of RTA Act. Suppose I want to know who all have donated money to say XYZ party, then State Bank of India is not authorized to reveal the information under the Right to Information Act. This amounted to anonymous funding. So, the anonymous funding continued, disguised funding continued. So, this was questioned by interested groups many times. In the instant case, Association for Democratic Reforms, an NGO, moved the Supreme Court, and it was represented by Advocate Prashant Bhushan. They asked the court to stay the sale of bonds scheduled between April 1 and April 10. The next schedule of electoral bond sales would be for 10 days beginning from April 1 and to April 10. So, this must be stayed. That was the prayer of the NGO, Association for Democratic Reforms. And the bond matters, listen, some charges against electoral bonds and SC's response. One, anonymity of buyers, this was the charge. The court says the scheme provides anonymity but ensures that everything happens only through banking channels. But haven't the people got a right to know? It could be through banking channels, but in a democracy, political parties should be transparent in their operations. So, had it been kept under Right to Information Act, either you or I could ask the bank who has subscribed for how much of electoral bonds and that money was given to which political party. Corporate houses can finance political parties. Anyone buying bonds will have to fulfill KYC norms. The money spent will reflect in the expense sheets of a company. Foreign corporate houses can buy bonds and influence electoral politics. Bonds can be purchased only by a person who is a citizen of India or incorporated or established in India. These are the response of the Supreme Court. Fourth contention was bonds bought with white money can be repurchased with black money. Bonds are non-tradable. Okay, a few arguments, made in favor of electoral bonds can be accepted, but the anonymity still continues. Court also says the scheme provides for anonymity, but it is that only it is transferred through official channels. So, since it is transferred through official channels, it is accepted, but anonymity will continue. Mind you, these corporates or whomsoever buy electoral bonds get 100% exemption under the Income Tax Act. So, the court says that it can continue. This is the final judgment. You can continue, electoral bonds can continue, but the court itself accepts that there is no solution to anonymity under the present electoral bonds law. Anyway, that cannot be completely acceptable, but anyway, this is the final saying of the Supreme Court. India Bangladesh must fight terror together. Indian Prime Minister has made his first visit after the COVID time, and that was to Bangladesh. We must understand that Bangladesh, our neighbor in the eastern border, celebrates its 50th year of independence. Bangladesh became an independent nation in 1971, of course with the help of India, that it got liberated from Pakistan and became an independent nation. And while that country was celebrating the 50th year of independence, Indian Prime Minister was invited, and our Prime Minister Narendra Modi went to Bangladesh. Very important, note down. Supreme Court backs Tata Sons, sets aside NCLAT order on Mistry. We know that Cyrus Mistry was made the chairman of Tata Sons. Tata Sons is the holding company of the salt to steel conglomerate, the Tata conglomerate. We know that Tata makes salt to steel. It is in every spectrum of business in India, and the holding company of all Tata companies is the Tata Sons, and Cyrus Mistry, a minority shareholder, was made the chairman a few years ago. But later on, for deviating from Tata's core business values and principles, he was unseated by the Tata Sons shareholders. So he was unseated as the chairman of the Tata Sons. This was challenged by Cyrus Mistry in the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, and the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal accepted his plea and asked Tata Sons to bring him back as the chairman of Tata Sons. This was challenged by the Tata Sons in the Supreme Court, and this is the final verdict of the Supreme Court on that incident. The Supreme Court ruled completely in favor of the multi-billion salt to software conglomerate Tata Sons Private Limited by setting aside the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal NCLAT decision to reinstate minority stakeholder Shapurji Pallonji Group's Cyrus Mistry. So in the Tata Sons, Shapurji Pallonji Group is a minority shareholder, and it was from that company group that Cyrus Mistry was appointed the chairman a few years ago. And the Chief Justice said, leaking of confidential mail to the media to create a sensation and passing information to the income tax authorities while claiming to be law-abiding citizen was an open declaration of all-out war against Tatas. This led to his removal as director, said the court. Cyrus Pallonji Mistry himself invited trouble, says the 3-judge bench. Okay. So, I hope you have understood the entire story. I have explained things to you. I hope you have understood. Deadly trail. Mumbai hospital fire shows that India needs to make public safety an absolute value. The unfortunate incident of the inferno in a Bombay hospital. Firefighters keep reminding people that fire is a good servant but a very poor master, and that got repeated, and the blaze that engulfed a private COVID-19 hospital in Mumbai's Bandup area Tuesday night comes as a reminder of how true that axiom is. Yes, fire is a good servant but a very poor master. So, it is quite unfortunate such incidences continue in India, and that asks for greater fire safety in high-rise buildings. 40% of RTI rejections did not cite valid reason, says analysis. Right to Information Act was passed in 2003. As per the Act, every public office must have an information officer, and we can seek information from any public office, and the officer concerned is supposed to give us information within a specified time. If such an information is not given, then we can give appeal to the higher information officer. Still, if it is not fulfilled to our requirement and wish, then we can approach the State Election Commissioner, and over and above that there are Information Commissioner, and over and above that Central Information Commission is there. But government officials do not like this act because they feel it is a kind of a nuisance. But factually, people who have voted them to power have got the right to know about anything or everything. So, governments, doesn't matter which political party have created them, do not like this provision of Right to Information Act or provisions of the Act. So, the government says, this particular report says that the centre has only rejected 4.3% of all right to information requests in 2019-20, the lowest ever rate according to the Central Information Commission's annual report. However, almost 40% of these rejections did not include any valid reason. So, this shows the reaction of the governments to right to information applications, and this includes 90% of rejections by the Prime Minister's office. Public authorities under central government received 13.7 lakh RTI requests, out of which 58,634 were rejected for various reasons. Rejection rates have fallen since 13.9, or that means compliance is going up, which is a good news, in 2005-06, and have been steadily trending towards downwards since 8.4% spike in 2014-15, and 2019-20 the lowest rate is hit, which is hardly 4.3%, or meaning the governments are trying to become more and more compliant, but some element still refuse to accept that things have changed. Egypt races to dislodge giant vessel blocking Suez Canal. This we discussed last day. Suez Canal provides the shortest route for ships to reach Asia from Europe and vice versa. Otherwise, they have to cover the entire African continent. So, the 193 kilometer Suez Canal enables faster transport between Asia and Europe, but one of the major ships in the world ever given got stuck. It ran aground, Suez Canal, which blocked free travel, which blocked travel of subsequent ships and its on travel. That is still, it provides 5 billion revenue to Egypt every year. Suez Canal provides 5 billion of revenue to Egypt for allowing ships to pass through Suez Canal. Ever given, a Panama flagged ship that carries cargo between Asia and Europe ran aground in the narrow canal that runs between Africa and the Sinai Peninsula. It got stuck in a single lane stretch of the canal about 6 kilometers north of its south entrance near the city of Suez. Okay. Around 10% of world trade flows through the canal. So that is its significance. Now the first question is given to you. Who among the following is a US trade representative? Trade representative of USA is equivalent to Indian Commerce and Industry Minister. Who is the Commerce and Industry Minister of India? It is Mr. Piyush Goyal. So who is the American equivalent of India's Commerce and Industry Minister? Who is the trade representative of USA? Very important. A few more responses. One has come already. A few more responses please. Very important personality. India is currently discussing trade matters with the US trade representative. Yes, it is correct. It is Catherine Tai. The first option, Catherine Tai. The first option is correct. Okay. Now I am proceeding further. India US agreed to resolve key bilateral trade issues. India and US have agreed to work constructively to solve key outstanding bilateral trade issues and to take a comprehensive look at ways to expand the trade relationships, the Biden administration has said. The US Trade Representative Catherine Tai discussed the important trade and investment relationship between the two countries during her maiden phone call with her Indian counterpart, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal. So the Biden administration have started contacting various world leaders and improve the trade relations with USA and other countries. Second question, Abiy Ahmed is the Prime Minister of. Abiy Ahmed is another personality whom we discussed recently. Abiy Ahmed is the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, South Africa, Eritrea, Gambia and Namibia. Abiy Ahmed, Nobel Peace Prize winner of 2019. Yes, the answer is Ethiopia. He is the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. Eritrea decided to pull out troops to Ethiopia's Tigray region. Abiy is the winner of the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize and he was facing mounting pressure to end fighting. So So, Ethiopia has decided to pull out troops from the Tigray region. Abiy sent troops to Tigray in November 2020 after accusing the region's once dominant ruling party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, of attacks on army camps. And this sending of the troops was criticized heavily by international community, and there were many, there were called for even stripping him of the Nobel Peace Prize that was granted to him in 2019. So, that peace prize was given for bringing peace between Ethiopia and Eritrea, for his efforts to bring in peace between the warring Ethiopia and Eritrea, the African neighbors. Eritrea will pull out troops from Tigray, Ethiopian Prime Minister. Eritrea will pull its troops out of Ethiopian northern Tigray region. It was Eritrea that decided to pull off troops. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said a potential breakthrough in in a drawn out conflict that has seen atrocities carried out against civilians. So, Eritrea decided to pull out its troops from Ethiopia's Tigray region. So, that is it. Please read who is Abiy Ahmed, a Nobel Prize winner of 2019, Nobel Peace Prize winner, and he faced criticism for sending troops to Tigray region. Bangladesh protest turns violent, 4 dead. 4 supporters of a hardline Islamist group were shot dead in Bangladesh in violent demonstration over Prime Minister Narendra Modi's tour to Dhaka. The next question to you, the Nat Health Summit, the Finance Commission Chairman N.K. Singh calls for the following except. During the Nat Health Summit, N.K. Singh, the Finance Commission Chairman, called for what all things? Health should be shifted to the concurrent list of the Constitution. A development finance institution dedicated to healthcare investment should be set up. Enhance government spending on health to 2.5% of GDP by 2025. Primary healthcare must be a fundamental commitment of all states in particular, and should be allocated at least 2/3 of such spending. Universalize healthcare insurance, as a large section of the society still remained uncovered. So, what is your answer? Which is wrong? I am quoting certain statements made by Mr. N.K. Singh, the chairman of the National Finance Commission, and he made certain observations during Nat Health Summit. Answer is the first option. None is wrong, meaning all are important. Listen, the different subjects of governance are divided into 3 lists as per the Indian Constitution. One is the central list, the state list, and the concurrent list. Items that come under the central list, in the items that come under the central list, only the central government can legislate. In the items that come under the state list, only the state government can legislate. Example for system items in the union list could be atomic energy, space, armed forces, etc. States cannot legislate anything on this. Law and order is a state subject, meaning in the case of law and order, only the state government is empowered to legislate. There are concurrent lists, meaning both the central and the state can legislate. Health is a subject in the state list. Bringing health into the concurrent list would give the center greater flexibility to enact regulatory changes and reinforce the obligation of all stakeholders towards providing better health care. This is the observation made by N.K. Singh. So, he says that health which is currently under the state list should be shifted to the concurrent list, so that it can be better managed by central legislations. That is his observation. And further, government spending in healthcare should be increased to 2.5% of GDP. Primary health care must be fundamental commitment of all states in particular and should be allocated at least 2/3 of such spending. Universalize health care insurance. Health care insurance should be universalized, meaning it should be given to all the people. These are the suggestions made by N.K. Singh. Okay, please read and make your own notes. I think I covered a few. You have to read completely. Fourth question, which company has agreed to provide the first ever official development assistance ODA worth 265 crore to project in Andaman Nicobar to improve its power supply in the islands? Overseas development assistance. ODA means overseas development assistance or official, okay, official development assistance. This part you have to check anyway. I do not know whether it is overseas or official. Better check. I leave the job to you. My memory prompts me to think that it is overseas development assistance. Anyway, you have to check. Yes, Japan is correct. Rupees 16,186 crore is also given by JICA. Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA has decided to give 16,186 crore for Delhi Metro, Bengaluru Metro, crop diversification projects in Himachal Pradesh and rainwater supply with a focus of mitigating fluorosis in Rajasthan, Rajasthan's Jhunjhunu and Barmer districts. For these four things, Delhi Metro, Bengaluru Metro, crop diversification Himachal Pradesh, and for rural water supply in Jhunjhunu and Barmer district of Rajasthan. For all these things, JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, has decided to provide 16,186 crore. Yes, please, this is the news. Japan to fund Andaman Nicobar metro expansion. Please read. Question number 5. Which of the following is the essence of the recent Supreme Court verdict stating that NCLAT order of 2018 we have already discussed? So I am very sure you will answer. Restored Cyrus Mistry as Executive Chairman of Tata Sons. Set aside NCLAT's order restoring Cyrus Mistry as Executive Chairman of Tata Sons. Cyrus Mistry is removed as Executive Chairman of Tata Sons. Cyrus Mistry has been appointed the Executive Chairman of Tata Sons. What is the essence of the Supreme Court verdict? I am very sure all of you will answer correctly because we already discussed it today. Please let the answers pour in. Hello, give me the answer. I have already discussed it. What is the sense of the Supreme Court verdict? Yes, Anaka, you are very correct. The second option, set aside NCLAT's order restoring Cyrus Mistry as the Executive Chairman of Tata Sons. I discussed it in detail today itself. Tata Group's stocks gain after Supreme Court verdict. Okay, once this verdict came, ambiguity and concerns got cleared and Tata stocks have improved. All Tata company stocks moved northwards. My dear students, thank you very much for watching the program. I am very hopeful that it helped you, and learn everything as a story, store them in your mind as stories so that the general awareness part of your examination will become a cakewalk. Thank you very much. At 3 o'clock we shall come again with another session of either English QA or reasoning. Make sure that you present for the thing and make sure that you watch this program regularly, the general awareness discussion program regularly. Read the Hindu newspaper on a regular basis. We shall learn together and we shall improve the program, and you can improve your score for prospective exams. Thank you very much. Goodbye.